So you're saying you're not gonna like it. Why do you say that?
Because I don't like being on camera.
But you do it so frequently now.
Not frequently. Like,
You do it daily.
I do it, but it's different. Like, this is a whole new avenue. And like, while I
It's
got
because you're not alone.
probably that, and also
I feel like that sometimes when I film myself, I need to be alone.
right.
And
If somebody like walks by while you're filming it,
ruins it.
yeah,
totally.
yeah, and also the like tech side of this, the mic, the tripod, the setting, the lighting. You need a ring light. You need
Remember, it's your first time doing it.
It's my first time doing it, right? So in the same way, like once I learn how to edit this, and then the other episodes are going to be much easier.
Yeah,
but it's always hard to start.
That's for sure. And why do you think that? Maybe goes the same thing for why we are uncomfortable in front of people, because we're not used to it.
Right.
And the more we do it, the more we get comfortable with it.
Right. I think that when the first person was walking around recording themselves on social media, people thought that they were crazy, and now everybody just assumes.
I still feel crazy when I do it though.
Right.
And you expose that into humor a lot. Like when we're in Miami and you like filmed me filming myself on Instagram and posted it.
Right.
So like it's perfect. Like, you're contributing to what makes me feel uncomfortable about being on camera.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, you do a great job. But it's funny is now putting you in the hot seat.
Right.
And now you're uncomfortable and I'm exposing that. It's funny.
But you didn't put me in the hot seat. I put myself in the hot seat.
That's right.
And I asked you to come because I thought it would be very interesting.
It is interesting. But don't you think it's funny that it's easy for us to like poke at and find humor in like making fun of someone, but when we're put in that same exact position, feel like that's
not nice.
You know, like no, we're all of a sudden in their shoes, and then we understand like what it feels like.
Right.
There's something there, right?
Yeah, but it's just funnier with you.
Why?
I think you just have better reactions. Like I get more upset, you laugh.
Wow. Why do you think that is?
Because I don't like being on that side. I don't like being on camera or exposure.
You're not liking it?
If it's like me and you, it's different. If it's exposure to the rest of the world, I don't like that.
Okay, so I want to figure out why. Because you're a private person.
I'm a very private person. So if somebody knows something about me that like I didn't necessarily share with them, like even
you get very uncomfortable.
Yeah, you get very uncomfortable because like you're way more open than I am. So what might seem like totally normal to share, like no, Lenny, that's socially off.
Okay,
like,
forget it. So let's talk. I want to know why.
Yeah.
I'm more comfortable being open, and why you're more uncomfortable.
I think you're more comfortable. First of all, I don't.
Where's it come from?
I don't think you're more comfortable. I think you don't have the same understanding of boundaries or limit. Why would that be so? Like a lot of times you'd be like, why was that so weird? Like, why did that guy react that way? Like, why did he, like that guy was so weird, right? Like I went up to him and give him a hug and he was so off-putting. I'm like, no, not everybody wants to be hugged. Not everybody wants you to like go in depth with them and share everything with them. So I think one is I think I read the room a little bit more than you, which also comes from learning to scan and survival tactics of trying to figure out who's a safe person and who's not a safe person. And I think that for me, that level of exposure, it feels raw. It feels like I'm standing naked in front of them,
I'm much more comfortable being naked. Makes sense. I get naked in front of multiple people every single day. Every morning, I find myself completely butt naked.
Which is the weirdest thing to me. I don't understand how you guys do that.
Perfect. We go back to our point. You get more comfortable with it the more times you do it.
Right.
So the first time, it feels uncomfortable. Then little by little, now it's like free for all. And it's even ironically funny that you see people that I know and there's no discomfort there.
Well, okay, because I think it's a normalized thing in society also.
Right.
For a woman going to the mikveh, of course it's uncomfortable. The balanita is standing there and she's watching you dip, but it's a normal part of society. So there's those awkward moments where you're getting out of the water, you're getting into the water, and you're just you don't make eye contact.
No, you make eye contact. You don't make other kind of contact.
No. No, she's not in the water with me. Yeah. When the woman goes to the mikveh, she's standing on top of the rungs and she's watching you dip to make sure that every part of you gets immersed in the water. Once I'm not making eye contact with her, that's weird, and The only time I look at her is like when I'm in a robe and she's telling me like, okay, have a great night.
Yeah, I identify with that for sure. Let's talk about this for a second. So you said that the reason why I want to go into like
The depth
is
of
it because of the way that we were raised, or is it just a personality type, or is it like
I
what?
think it's both. I think it's both. I think I come from a very private family.
Very.
Like we don't even say like we put a new mezuzah, you know, like
Yeah.
which is like the most basic like normal thing. Like
or at least we say it, but we say we don't say it.
right. We say we don't say it, but like we say it to the right people. You have to be a part of the people, right? And I think you guys grew up with like sharing everything and
Yes.
oversharing, and then you learn like, oh wait, maybe this isn't the right thing for me to be sharing. Like I think you've gauged that.
And then also maybe not be so private.
Right. From being married to each other, like we've learned to like balance each other out and like
this is what Rabbi Zayas talks about all the time. He says it's funny, like when you find someone to marry, like you're trying to find someone that's compatible with you.
right.
And a healthy relationship is one where you guys are different. How does that make sense? Number one. Number two, Rabbi Zayas talks about how the whole point of marriage is growth.
Right.
And if you marry someone who is you,
You're
who's
not
like
gonna grow.
you, you're not going to grow. And this is the fundamental point of marriage, is to grow.
Right. I think that's why they say like it's like I am Suf, because you really didn't know me and I didn't know you. We thought we did.
A glimpse, like
A glimpse. But if you would have known who I am today and I would have known who you are today, it might not have been.
I would have definitely married you. Are you kidding me?
I would have
I'm so happy I married you.
I'm so happy I married you.
I'm so happy you turned into who you are now.
I'm so happy you turned into who you are too. But I'm saying that like when you're in different stages of your life, the match that happens or however it works in the way that Hashem runs the world, that I feel that both neshamas have to be at a certain point in order to match, right? That's why they say that like you can meet your person and you can date, and then all of a sudden 10 years later and they find like they've been dating and then 10 years later they find each other. And why couldn't they get married 10 years before? They weren't there yet. There wasn't something there. And so I think that that's like a reason for why, like you're saying, like, why is it opposite or the growth or anything like that? Like you really don't know. And going into it with that oblivion.
I knew how beautiful you were.
Thanks, babe.
And still are. I knew how kind you were and still are. And I knew how much you had Shamayim you had and still have. So those were like the fundamental things that I was like banking on.
You could see, okay, I'll say this you could see the good stuff because you're looking for the good stuff when you're dating. It's exciting. Yes. So you're looking for the good stuff. When you get married, then you see the bad stuff. Right. And it's not that I hid it from you or you hid it from me. It's just that level of closeness that comes from living together, from being married, from managing a household, from learning each other, from
raising children.
Raising children, from learning the ins and outs of marriage, and not even just marriage, a Jewish, religious, Orthodox marriage that has a lot of laws and harchakos and nida and all these things that we had to now figure out, right? And even navigating that of like calling the rabbi, being embarrassed to call the rabbi, like I don't want to talk, I don't want to ask him, like okay, I'm not gonna do it, right? And figuring all of that out, and even you saying like I don't want to ask the rabbi, like I don't want to call him, like I don't want to drop that off for you as a whatever, like I don't want to do that. And I think that learning that and having that,
if it meant that mikveh could come any closer, I would do it. Your family's gonna watch this probably. No, I don't care if my family sees it.
I'm sure you don't care if your family sees it.
I want to like
make sure your dad will be cheering.
Yeah, my dad.
Like, go, Mama, that's amazing.
At least we can count on one viewer.
Yes.
My dad is for sure going to be watching.
He's my number one supporter, for sure.
It was epic, dude.
Really
I miss Sukkot.
That's why it's hard to move from here,
From here?
Yeah.
Like, we're never going to have Sukkot like that.
Say never. It was beautiful, and it was
hosting everybody.
It was transformative in every way, and that's why I love that we were able to do that. But like, I don't know. That's why even I wrote in my Zohar Hanukkah note this year, I was like, I remember writing in my note saying like, I don't know if I actually when I wrote it in my note last year that I wanted a bigger house so that we could host or whatever, I was like, I don't know if I actually, it's not that I didn't believe that Hashem could or couldn't do it. I think that I just know that the setup that we have is, we're not going to find that again. We're just, and I know that people say don't limit Hashem and Hashem, it's not Maybe it is.
There's something special about this because it's not about limiting Hashem. It's about appreciating that even though you feel mefutzatz and mitzumtzam and that everyone's crowded, you don't have space, you don't have storage, even with that,
Right.
you understand that right now your living situation is never going to come back. So regardless of the challenge that you currently experience here, you're able to appreciate things that you'll know you'll never have again. And I think that's like such a beautiful thing that you can apply to everything. You can apply it to the kids. It's about a God, fighting. No, this is a time
where
they're all here. We're spending every day together. We're spending every Shabbat together. They want to come with us everywhere.
Right.
Like that is like a very important thing. Like when you're on your way to something bigger, don't forget like this moment right here, this challenge right here is something there's something special that you're never going to get back.
Yeah, no. And I think about that because I'm like, okay, like when's the one time a year that like we really like use every inch of our space is Sukkot. And I'm like, okay, so for those 10 days, I'm going to not move or not look. And I'm like, but those 10 days, something about being here are so special. Yeah. With the balagan, with the craziness, with the
totally
that like it's hard to move on from that, you know, because I think that when we were first married and like got out, like I was more looking at the house as like just the house and okay, I'll put the furniture and I'll make it a home. But I think at this stage, like I really do believe that like the house itself has bracha. Like the energy that comes with the house, like that you buy, like the people that were before, like what they did in the house or what they did in like all of that, like it might sound crazy, but like I believe that has an effect on how you live in your house. And so moving, so you're changing.
But it might be in a good way, but
in a good way. And I don't think that like not moving because it's out of fear is a good. You shouldn't do things out of fear. So like. Exactly the reason why I'm sitting here is because I'm scared to be sitting here, because I'm nervous, because I don't like being on camera, because I don't like this level of exposure, but I feel like this is the next step for me. And the feedback that I've been getting from people is that this is what they want and this is what they need, and that people aren't talking about this and showing it without being filtered or edited or censored or cutting this one out and doing another take and all these things. Like
also because you are filling a shlichut that Hashem put you in this world to fulfill. And that's when you figure that out.
Right.
It's
took a long damn time.
Yeah, it takes a long time. This takes a long time.
Right. I'm saying to figure it out. There's many other avenues, you know?
You're saying for you specifically? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but now you appreciate it more, you know?
Of course I appreciate it more. And I think that exactly is what gives me like the fire to do what I do in my workshops and push people, because I'm like, don't sit and wait. Like if there's something there, if there's a little voice, go do it. Like figure it out, find a way. There's most of the time, I'm not ready yet equals fear. Ready is not a feeling. It's fear that's holding you back. So go do it, because I know what it feels like to have an inkling, because for years, I think I had this idea in the back of my head and I just didn't know how to go about it, because I thought that I needed the credentials. I needed the years of experience. I needed the degrees. I needed to know how to work social media. I needed to know how to edit a podcast. Like I don't. I'll figure it out along the way, just like everybody else. And we get so stuck, and I myself got so stuck in fear, 100%. Fear. And the way that that fear masked for me was I was hiding in the how. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to make it that. It's like we live, basically, yeah. But like we live in a world it's crazy. It's not like we have ChatGPT. You literally go to ChatGPT and you say, I want to start a podcast. Tell me what I need. Give me the exact links from Amazon. Tell me which apps to use. Is it better on a desktop? Is it better this? And it literally gives you a list of how to do it. And we didn't have that growing up. So it isn't harder to start anything. Right.
If it's real, and if you're really fulfilling your shlichut, then naturally the world will respond in kind, and it won't matter. So again, you're doing hishtadlut.
Right.
It's not the camera, it's not the mic, it's not the setting. It's doing hishtadlut.
Right.
So that Hashem can open up the bracha. The way that the world responds to you is a telltale sign that you're on the right track.
Right.
Just like me with cooking, like the response, I remember like when I finally like decided to go that route, and like the universe just like responded with like alignment, you
Right.
know? And it's really cool to see you, who always had this koach with your friends and with me and family, but to see you now take that to the rest of the world. It's kind of like me. Like I used to cook for friends and
Right.
family
Right.
and the
And now you
house,
took it to the rest of the
and
world.
then you took it to the rest of the world. Like
Right.
that's I
And you
think the
also
secret.
knew from a young age what you wanted to
For
do.
sure. No, that
But I
was
think
a
that
little more obvious for me,
it
but
was, yeah, it was way more obvious.
because it's a tangible, like
It's a tangible thing.
like talent.
Right. This is not. This is
more
like
like
self-development. Like it's a very vague. Like even when people ask me, like, what do I do?
Right.
Like it's not that I'm not
It's not
confident
clearly
in what I do,
defined.
but it's not clear to define it because it's
Right.
like I could just as much help you as I can help this person.
Uh-huh.
It just depends on what exactly.
Yeah, no,
you're
it was
seeking
really cool.
help
Like
with.
I was walking out when I was putting the kids to bed when you were doing the workshop, and like for the first time, I just like heard like 5 seconds of your like your Will Ferrell and no? Step Brothers, the songbird of your generation, but nobody's ever heard you sing. So let's give them something to talk about. So, but hearing you for like even 5 seconds, someone, which again is like something that like everyone that knows you goes to you to like help me. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Me all the time, and you now doing
I'm
that.
gonna start charging you, by the way.
I pay. I'm the number one best customer. I pay better than anybody.
This video is sponsored by Lenny's Kisses.
Yeah, everything's sponsored. But
yeah, the watching me for 5
yeah,
seconds.
that's cool to see like you do that with someone, and that you're like you're doing what you should be doing in this world.
Yeah, I think also like, so I think the fear is also with the way that I grew up. So like putting yourself out there, like showing your life, or like talking about things, or like just being public. It has nothing to do with being like tsanua. Like that wasn't how I was raised. It was just more of like very Sfardi, Ain Hara. Like you don't talk about things, you don't put it out in the world. And I think
it's something that a lot of, like this world can learn a lot from.
For sure, but I think that also
it's taken to an extreme.
Yes, I think that, like you said, if you're genuinely sharing and you're genuinely doing it from a place of like, this is what I feel is my role, and this is what I feel like is my ishtadlut of being able to put something out into the world and be able to help people, then there is no ayin hara if you truly believe that everything came from Hashem, right? And ayin hara only reacts if you give it koach.
Today's Chumash Rashi.
Really?
Talking about Yosef Atzadik.
Okay.
Ben Porat Yosef, Ben Porat Ayin.
Right.
That he's above Ayin Hara.
Right.
He was not subject to Ayin Hara. Why? Because all its atzlacha never made anybody else jealous. He was not subject to Ayin Hara. And this is the bracha that he gave. And I thought about it as he was talking. Rabbi Gordon said, I was thinking about it. I said, Yosef Atzadik was Tzadik. So he understood that everything that he had wasn't his.
Right.
You just see from his life and going in prison, and he's like, this is what Hashem wants from me right now. This is where I am. This is what I have. Like, and then when it said, like, tell us about your dream interpreting, he's like, it's not me, it's Hashem.
Right.
So he was not subject. He is Ben Porat Yosef, Ben Porat Ayin, because he's not subject to Ayin Hara, because he doesn't believe, he doesn't mistakenly think that anything he has belongs to him. Because of that, he's not subject to it.
Yeah, I just think
it's just a hard level to get to it.
Right, it's a hard level to get to, but more than it being a hard level to get to, I think it's conditioning that I have that, let's say, like I mentioned it to you, I think last week, like when I put something out into the world about like me and you, and then like all of a sudden we'll get into like this crazy like dumb fight, right? And I'm just like, oh, no, like the number one thought that I have is ayin hara. And I'm like, but then I have to rewire that thought and think to myself, like, it's not that. It's because you're putting it out into the world and there's goodness from that. And so as a result of that, like the pushback, the mania from it is the number one reason for you to continue, which is why when we were talking last week and I said like, okay, like I really need to do it because there's so much fear holding me back from the podcast. I'm nervous to be, which is funny, I'm married to you, right? But like, I'm nervous to be on a podcast with you. It's a different sphere. It's a different sphere of you seeing me in that different way. And like, even when you walked by the other night when I was doing my workshop, like as you were leaving the house, I was like, oh, okay, like he's seeing that side of me now, you know, like it's uncomfortable because it's new. And it's uncomfortable because it's a different way of you seeing me. And of course, I think that it's healthy and it's good. Like in the same way that I see you flourishing and like Baruch Hashem, doing really well and being good with the Khazar, like it's really nice to see that. So and I have been seeing that for the last, let's say 7 years when you really like went into your passion. But
Funny, there's an exact age difference between us. You said the last 7 years. We're 6 years apart.
right.
And now you're starting like to really own your passion.
Right.
It's kind of like how I really
Right.
started
At
like
30.
coming into myself.
Right. 31.
30. 30 was when I was 30. It was 2019. So yeah, right around there. Right
Yeah.
on there. So see, you're right on track.
31. I'm 31. Exact same age. May 2020.
Yeah.
May 2021.
Wow. May 2020.
May 2020. No, you didn't open in May 2020.
May 2020.
You opened in May 2020?
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah.
So yeah, 31.
One of the questions that came through was, I think they asked how you and I support each other through our own like lives. I mean, it wasn't so specific. It was more like, how do we support each other? So you can answer that, how you.
Like for me, obviously, you welcome my help with the children, and when you know I'm available, you expect my help with the kids, and it's a bracha because I realize how much closer we've become as a result of being able to put them to bed, and for so many years that wasn't a possibility, and
Right.
spending Sundays together, and like that's been a really big bracha. We're so close, thank God now, like, and I'm able to really like connect with them and take them to school in the morning. Like that's sometimes it's like, thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm working all day, but like this is a bracha. Like the fact that you put that expectation on me is really like such a bracha for me and for the kids.
Right.
But also I know, and I've seen this many times, that when shit hits the fan, I'm sorry if you have to edit that. When the shit hits the fan, I couldn't figure out another way to say that.
That part I don't have to edit
Oh,
out.
okay,
Other
fine.
things you were saying
Fine. Okay.
that were not appropriate.
I was like,
I have
no,
to
how
edit out.
censored I.
Cursing is fine. Saying other words and other things is not okay.
It's really liberating and like, what's it called?
Empowering.
That when the shit hits the fan, or Christmas Day and I have one staff member and I need to just get into serious like restaurant mode, that I know that the kids are 100% taken care of. Like you've got it covered completely. That is the best form of support that I feel from
Right.
you. Like when you do that and when you go into like mom mode, I got this, then I feel the koach to go and conquer the world. And I think that's a really, really special thing. So I'm really happy also that like your passion is not like being a medical doctor, for instance, because
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like it could have been.
Right. It could
And
have
like
been.
I would be like struggling to like have time with the kids, and
Right.
then like half in work, half here, and
Right.
then the kids are spending a lot of time with nannies, and like, but that's your thing, so we have to do it,
Right.
In this case, I think in general, like it should be, and I think the kids really like benefit from having a mom who's really present with them, and the priority of the mom is the children, as
Right.
is for the dad. We just express it in different ways, like.
Right. It's difference of roles.
And I think that's a really healthy thing, and that's like the way that families existed for so many years. And so, while I encourage everyone to pursue the passion, my mom was a freaking beast in business. Kol hakavod that she was able to like kill it the way she did. And obviously, there's certain women that are like that. But if I didn't have Nuni, if I didn't have my grandmother, I would have been like a little bit lost,
Right.
without a mom figure. I guess my recommendation is obviously everyone should find what they're passionate about, but don't ever feel less than in a relationship if your focus is more on the home and with the children. In fact, it's a big strength because you're allowing your partner to go out and conquer the world, knowing that everything is covered back at home.
Right. I think feeling less than is more losing yourself.
How do you feel supported by me?
Well, I think that because we got married very young, I was 6 years younger than you, but like trying to figure out who I was and what I was, and not even knowing like that I didn't know who I was yet, and trying to navigate that, and like you being very patient.
Give me an example.
Like when I would like lock myself in a room, not talk to you, or like give you silent treatment in the very beginning, and having to learn how to communicate, and having to learn that like I am not less than because I'm not contributing financially. And that was never anything you said or did. Like you always 100%, like from the get-go was like, you're going to be here to take care of the kids. And it's important to me and it's important to you that you're here for the kids. Whatever else you do is extra. Now, does that mean that it was easy for me to stay home or easy for you to figure out ways to support? No, 100% not. There was times where I worked at like the wig store and I would like, trying to figure out the schedule. And like, it was a matter of like what we would consider today thousands of dollars, right? Like, but it was a necessity. So like I went out and I did it and whatever, and like trying to figure out myself. And first it was ultrasound school and I was like, okay, go ahead and do that. Then it was like, oh, maybe I want to do nursing school, or maybe I want to do this, or maybe I want to do that. And then the moving and back and forth and all these things. And with every idea of mine, you're just like, okay, great. Like, go for it, and especially in the last idea of mine of going back to school for my master's, that wasn't easy. It was also at the beginning stages of Pico.
Remember.
And you were moving there. Then you opened up Shuk. I was pregnant with Yuda when I started my master's program, and somehow, some way, I did school, internship, kids, and you worked, and you were able to like come home and help. And your mom helped a lot, and we had to hire extra help and all of those things. And just, it was never like you've never told me like, put yourself on hold. Like right now is not the time. There have been times where you may have said like, I can't focus on this right now. And I've had to like figure out like if I need to hire help or ask for more help. Or there's been times where like we can't go on like a family trip, like the yeshiva week or whatever, because it's like just too crazy and it's too hard for you to leave Casita. But there's never been times where you've said like, no. And like when I came to you with this idea, and like you were very enthusiastic, and you like more than my other ideas, like, because I think also you knew deep down, like, because we have deeper conversations and because like, and we have a relationship where we check each other and we're able to like be each other's moral compass.
In a constructive way. That's the thing. You could have that. It's right. You could interpret that very negatively.
Right. No.
It's a constructive.
It's in a constructive way.
That's the key. Destructive is the worst. Better to never say anything bad about your partner if it's destructive.
Right.
If it's constructive, it would be a sin not to say something.
No, I think if we're being on, like,
yeah.
I'm more the one coming to you and saying like what I noticed. You're less critical of me for sure, which is really nice. But I think that even when we are being critical, like,
because you're critical of yourself.
Right. I hold myself to a higher standard.
You're way too critical.
Which is why we're opposites and going back to the beginning. But I think that like it's also understanding the time and reading the room of like not babying you, but understanding that like you might not have the capacity to hear what I have to say right now. And so like I'll usually, when I come to you and I'm like, hey, when you have a minute, like, and you're like, okay, something's coming. But like, then you can approach it once you've had your time to chill, or once you've had your time. Like, I think I've gotten better at like, not just like bombarding you with it.
So you're mentioning about how I never said no. I never say no to your ideas or your things. There has to be a flip side to that. Meaning, because I'm a yes man and my first word was yes, ironically, when I was a kid. Like, what is the negative side of that? What is the less positive side of that?
I think overgiving of yourself.
That's a bad thing?
Yeah.
Why?
Because when you overgive of yourself, being a yes man comes from being a people pleaser, because you don't want to disappoint others. So you'll answer those phone calls. You'll take the catering calls from a friend of a rabbi who came in, even though you have a catering department. Why? Because you don't want them to be upset with you. And it's not even, the crazy part is that it's not even people who are close to you. Like, you have such an easy time with the people who are close to you saying no. But the people who are farther from you, you have a hard time saying no to. I think that comes from like people pleasing, wanting to be accepted, wanting to be liked by everybody, like being known as the nice guy. Saying no doesn't make you a not nice guy. Saying no just makes you a guy who has boundaries.
What if I try to say no and they're pushy?
Because you're indirect. When you say no directly, it's like when you tell me.
Because I interpret that as being.
You tell me like, I don't understand what you're saying. Like, tell me directly. It's the same exact thing when you tell your customers. When you don't tell them, maybe let me see if we can.
It's a Persian thing.
It's your way of saying no, But when you're talking to the other 90% of the population of Los Angeles who is Persian, they will take that "let me see" and they'll run with it, and they'll call you 17 times to see if you've made it happen for them. And even when you say no, they're not going to hear that no. That's okay. But you just need to keep saying, like, I said no. And at a certain point, like, it's also okay for you not to answer their phone calls. It's also okay for you to just shoot them a text if you're busy, if you're this, if you're that, or direct them to the catering department.
Where do you think the people pleasing comes from?
I think wanting to be liked, and everybody has like their own like thing. Like either like you're like there's different ways. So either your needs weren't important, so you like overgave and overdid and overachieved in order to be like appreciated, or
That's
if you're
me.
like right, but like let's no, I'm saying if grades were
I underachieved.
Right, but like you being funny got you attention.
Yes, that's right.
Right, you
Thank
being
you,
able to make jokes got you attention. So you learned that in order to get attention, I need to be funny.
Yeah.
And I need to be light, because maybe what was going on is this brother was like this and this brother was like that, and they got those labels, and you're like, oh, I see how that's playing out, which I think is the beauty of being the youngest, is you get to, even from a young age, you get to see how that plays out. And on some subconscious level, you interpret that, and that's how you act, and that's how you become.
Wow.
And so I think on some subconscious level, you understood that being the funny one is going to make me the well-liked one.
Yeah, and it was right.
Yeah.
It's funny because my closest relationships are not like based on like, oh, I love you, you're so funny, which like is very common. So certain people love my humor, like that really know me,
Right.
like, love my humor.
Right.
But like you, for instance, like don't consider me like funny.
Yeah, I think I'm funnier than you.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny how like it's more of like a thing that people that are less close to me would consider me as like the funny guy.
Right.
Right?
Okay, well,
Nice.
we did it.
Let's do this again.
Let's do it again next week.
I'm
We should
down.
have a Liat and Lenny series.
It's insane how many freaking texts I'm getting. It's tripping
You
me
are
out.
so popular,
Next time, no, it's not
Baba.
about popular. I need to turn off
I'm
my
so
phone.
sorry for taking your time.
And the restaurant's closed, and I'm still tripping out. I gotta work on this.
You need to do some healing, some sensory dancing. Okay, well, then let's wrap up. Okay.
How do you want to wrap up?
I don't know. It's like weird, you know? Like, so thanks so much for coming.
You overthink things.
Do I?
Yeah, you really do.
I don't think
And maybe I underthink things, but you definitely overthink things.
For sure.
So just...
What if I just put it out there?
Make a bracha.
Just like
Let's
this.
make a bracha.
Hold on. What if I just put it out there like this, no edit, and just say raw podcast? That part, that word, the whole podcast is going to be like, deet, deet, deet. What I was saying, what if I just did it like that?
I'm
like
cool.
real, you know? Right.
Let's give a bracha.
Okay. Bracha, what do you want to say?
Bring a bracha to anybody who's watching this. We went and covered so many things. Number one, a good relationship. Hashem should bless everyone listening and watching to this, that they should be blessed with a constructive, healthy, grow-oriented relationship with someone who supports you and loves you and sees the good in you. We talk about fulfilling our shlichut in this world. Anybody listening and watching this should be zochet to their ultimate shlichut and their highest level of shlichut, and it should go well and successfully and with a lot of mazal and bracha and parnasa too. And we talked about children. Hashem should bless with children, healthy children. It's like they're diving for these kids every day, you know?
These kids and also friends that are struggling to have children.
It's like such a bracha to have healthy children. We have to like really appreciate it. So that's my bracha. That we should only see Banei Chaya Richim Vichi for all of Am Yisrael, B'zchut Reb Shai and Reb Moshe. And now this podcast is going to be the best podcast ever.